Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here. In today's video, I will be bringing you guys a preview of the Washington Commanders versus New York Giants Week 15 matchup. This is a huge game for both teams on Sunday Night Football. I'll be giving you guys an injury update on both teams, keys to victory for the Commanders, and also a score prediction. So if you guys are new, please subscribe. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Also hit that like button and that notification bell. So like I said, guys, this is a huge game for the Commanders, and yesterday the Commanders got, a good result without even playing. The Seattle Seahawks lost, which, dropped them to 7-7. So even if the Commanders lose on Sunday, which hopefully doesn't happen, knock on wood, they will still be in the playoffs by the end of the week. And so will the Giants, because I believe the Lions, they're still a game and a half back, or maybe two, so they'll have to win and win next week to be in a playoff spot. But Commanders have a very good shot, and I looked at the stats, and this is not something that you want the Commanders to do, but 538, the site that predicts, the playoff odds, if the Commanders win this Giants game and lose out, they still have a 70% chance of making the playoffs. And I don't want to make the playoffs at 8-1. I want to win 9, 10 plus games, but that's just showing how important this game is. And because of the result yesterday and this past weekend, it's a little bit easier for the Commanders to get in while losing this game, but that's not something we want to do. We win this game and focus on winning games after that, but it starts with this week for sure, because it makes things so much easier moving forward. So yeah, big game for sure. Injury-wise, Sadiq Charles out, concussion, I believe, on Wednesday's practice, reported symptoms, and didn't practice yesterday or today. So he's out. Not, obviously sucks for him, but not that big of a deal. Wes Schweitzer will be at center. That's what they said. And then you'll have Trey Turner at guard. He's fully healthy to go. And then you'll have Sam Cosmi as the backup guard, or he'll be the starting right tackle, and you have Lucas as the backup tackle, and if anything happens, Cosmi can slide into guard. Questionable: Chase Young, F.A. Obata, Cam Sims, Benjamin St-Juste. The biggest one there is Benjamin St-Juste. I want that guy playing for sure. We saw, how even the Giants receivers, who were not good, cooked us up when we played them at times. So, having Benjamin St-Juste back would help a lot. And then Chase Young, I don't know, man. It is what it is. It's the same thing every week. Like, every single week, what the coaches say, what the national reporters say, it's the same thing. You can just copy and paste it every week. It starts out being optimistic, super optimistic early in the week. Then by the middle to end of the week, it starts to be a little bit more pessimistic. And then Saturday or Sunday, it's like, oh, Chase Young won't play. He's playing next week. It is what it is. I just wish they could be more upfront about it. But, we'll see if he plays. There's still a shot. He's questionable, was limited all week, and he might play. If he does, he'll be limited, and it'll be a boost to the Commanders if he plays, but I'm not counting on it because we've seen this story a bunch of times. Cam Sims, back injury. Have no idea if he's going to play or not. Same thing with F.A. Obata. I think that's like a new addition to the injury report. He should be able to play with a finger injury. And then Benjamin St-Juste, I think it's really questionable. It's going to be how he feels tomorrow and Sunday. I think there's definitely a shot he plays, though, and we're going to need him. We're going to need him for sure. So now let's get in. Oh, and the Giants, I'm not going to put out the official injury report yet because I don't think they have one yet, but Leonard Williams practiced today, and it looks like he will be playing. Adoree Jackson's still out, and those are kind of the main injuries. They got other guys like Daniel Bellinger limited. Saquon should be good to go. He's off the injury report, and Richie Grant and those guys who were in the concussion protocol should be good to go as well. So now on to the Commanders' keys to victory. 1, stop Daniel Jones, and they did a better job at this in the second half, which does encourage me. But he was running the ball way too much on them, and they did force a fumble, which is great. But that was their offense, was running the ball with Daniel Jones and then throwing the ball down to Darius Slayton every once in a while, which is, I'll get to that in a little bit. But stop Daniel Jones on the ground. Just do it. Jamin Davis and the linebackers have to do a better job of it, because it's hard for the D-line to really stop him. especially when it's a design quarterback run. That's on the second level players. That's on the linebackers. That's on Jamin Davis. So have a QB spy or whatever you have to do to try to limit Daniel Jones as a runner, because it was too much early on. And yeah, he's a good runner and even better runner against his defense. So that's something we're going to have to limit, because, you know, him throwing the football, he's okay. Like, it is what it is with him. He's not going to kill you with his passing. He can make some passes. We saw that last week. But that's not his necessarily his strength. And he will make some mistakes. But his strength is running the football, and he's one of the best at it in the NFL at the quarterback position. Probably top 5, top 7. He can do it at a high level, so we got to make sure we got to stop it and enforce it early, that we're not playing around, we're not letting him run on us. So hit him early, so that he won't do it again, and the Giants don't want to risk him getting hurt. So, other key to victory, got to try to limit or keep our eyes out on Darius Slayton, because obviously caught that 55-yard pass against us early on in the game, and, you know, probably was a push-off, but still, he caught it 55 yards, and that really changed the game. They scored a touchdown on that drive. You can't let that happen. And then Isaiah Hodgins also had a touchdown against us. And also, Darius Slayton, at the end of regulation, almost had like a 50, 60-yard catch again. And that would have won the game for them. So we have to, if Benjamin St-Juste is playing, it's not going to be an issue. But if he's not playing, just put Kendall Fuller on Darius Slayton. Have him follow Darius Slayton, because that's really their only guy that's going to burn you deep. Isaiah Hodgins is okay, and he'll get you 6, 8 yards. Like, he did that a couple of times, made some big plays, had a touchdown in the red zone. It wasn't a long one, but it was a nice route on Christian Holmes. And I'm fine with that. And Danny Johnson did a better job against Hodgins and Slayton later on in the game. But if Benjamin St-Juste is out, have Kendall Fuller shadow Darius Slayton. And, you know, Kendall Fuller isn't the fastest guy, but still, he knows what to do. He's a vet. He'll be able to tell things, more easily than Christian Holmes. So have him just shadow Darius Slayton so we don't see these big explosive plays, because that's really it for the Giants. I mean, Saquon's good, but he's not as good as he was early on in the year. He's also, he's off the injury report, but probably not 100%. He's probably like 90%, and our D-line's good. I'm not too worried about Saquon. Just got to limit some of those big runs. He had a nice touchdown run and like a 20-yard run. So that's kind of what I'd say. Keys to victory on defense. Besides the cliche ones, get pressure on Daniel Jones, force some fumbles. Danny fumbles, force some turnovers. And, do what you did last week and you should be fine, because I believe Giants scored 20 points, including overtime. And I believe 7 of them came off of a Heineke fumble inside our own 20, which wasn't necessarily his fault, but it gave the Giants a free 3 points. I mean, they scored 7, but you get the ball inside the 10, or 20, that's free 3 points, and they obviously got a touchdown off that too. So defense really let less than 20. So do what they did last time. Just limit those big plays to Slayton, and we did get lucky at the end of the game that Slayton didn't catch that ball. So, just got to try to limit Slayton as much as you can, and putting Kendall Fuller on him, I think, would be solid. You see this. He's averaging 61 yards a game over 17 games, and I think that's with Daniel Jones as his quarterback. So, some other keys to victory on this is these are some offensive ones, and I talked about that. I mean, a lot of these keys to victory, guys, are the same ones as last time, except for kind of the Darius Slayton one. The Giants allowed 3.15 yards before contact per rush, third worst in the NFL. They ranked 4th in yards after contact at 2.01. So keep running the football, especially if you get a lead. And I'm not saying a 7-0 lead or a 10 or 13-3 lead in the second quarter. I'm talking third, fourth quarter. You're up by 2 scores. Obviously, still pass the football, but run the football, especially if it's working, just so that you can limit the amount of times Heineke possibly makes a mistake. That's what I would do. But, they also struggle heavily against the play action. So establish the run game early and use that play action. When they expect you to pass or to run the ball, you just got an 8-9 yard run on first down. It's 2nd and 2. You've been running it all drive. They think you're going to run it. Do a play action. Throw a deep shot to Terry, or short pass to Jahan. Let him do the rest. you got to take those shots, especially against a team that's worse in the NFL against play action. So that's something I would try to take advantage of. Try to take advantage of it. Run, you're able to run on this team. Brian Robinson did a really, really good job last game. So do that. But also take those shots to Terry McLaurin. That's another key to victory. Just keep getting Terry the ball. This is a key to victory. Sorry it's not loading. But give Terry McLaurin the ball every single week. You just got to keep giving him the ball. It's Sunday Night Football. He does well against the Giants. You guys will see some stats on it right now in a second. But just got to keep feeding Terry. And same thing with Curtis and Jahan too. Give those guys the ball. The tight ends, I don't know. Some of these tight ends, I don't know if you really want to be taking targets away from Jahan, Curtis, and Terry to give the ball to John Bates or Logan. Those guys really aren't, doing much this year, especially Logan. Last week didn't do much. So, I'm fine giving it to the tight ends once in a while, and if they're open, of course, but keep giving the ball to Terry, Jahan, and Curtis, and good things will happen. And this is obviously just one that you want to do each week. Limit the penalties, man. The penalties really hurt the Commanders last week, and some of them were not great calls by the refs, like the Logan Thomas blindside block, but there were other ones like Logan Thomas false start that hurt them for sure. The Cole Turner holding penalty, that lost points for sure. The special teams penalties, 2 on 1 play by one player, that's just ridiculous. Cannot have that happen. So penalties, got to limit those, and you got to be better in the red zone. I don't know why this tweet isn't loading, but it's basically just showing Terry McLaurin's stats against the Giants are very good. We should give him the ball for sure. And Adoree Jackson looks like he's not playing, so it's going to be those same corners, Fabian Moreau, maybe Zion Gilbert, guys like that Terry McLaurin should be able to cook up. Also, red zone offense has to be better. You can't be kicking 22, 25-yard field goals. It doesn't lead to a lot of success. They had the ball at the 2-yard line and they kicked a field goal. Honestly, it is a debate, but just give me just go for the touchdown. Go for the touchdown, especially if you know that you're going to go for it. Maybe you run it before that and you're at the 1 and you just have to go in for 1 yard. If you don't get it, hey, Giants are at their own 1 and you trust your defense to stop them. Maybe you get a turnover in there or a safety, or you just get the ball with great field position on the next drive. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Red zone's got to be red zone offense has to be better for sure. And those are just the stats. Terry had 105 yards versus the Giants 2 weeks ago, and he averaged 82 yards per game with Taylor Heinicke. So my prediction for the Commanders versus the Giants game, I think the Commanders will win this game. It is at home. Commanders, I feel like, even though they got lucky they tied last week, I still think they got some unlucky breaks in terms of penalties that were missed, just bad calls or missed penalties, like the Terry McLaurin pass interference that they picked up, the Cornelius Lucas hands to the face that should have been called, the Christian Holmes penalty, and many more. And yeah, I think, they probably should have beat the Giants last week, even though at the same time, the way they were playing, they also should have lost. You guys know what I'm saying. It's like they should have beat the Giants with, the team the Commanders are, the talent they have versus the talent the Giants have. And the Giants just got killed by the Eagles this past week. So got to take advantage of that. You have to buy. You're playing the same opponent. And the Giants are coming off a tough game against the Eagles. So 24-17 is my prediction. I think, we should beat them by more than that, but it is a divisional game. It's at home, which is good for us Sunday night. We'll see how the turnout is for the game. And I think that, offense is going to have to score a lot of points. And that's why